A very good morning to all of you. I'm grateful and truly honored to welcome you all to today's Youth Parliament session, and I hope this session will be fruitful. Before we proceed with today's agenda, it is my privilege to introduce the newly elected member of this House. This representative has joined us with commitment to serve, deliberate, and contribute to meaningful discussions on issues that shape our society and future. Sri Arjun Ram Meghwal, Law and Justice Minister, Rajasthan. Let us now proceed with the first business of the House, oath or affirmation. Secretary General, please.
Honorable Speaker and esteemed members of the National Youth Parliament, Sri Arjun Ram Meghwal have been elected for the lower house of the Parliament. Sri Arjun Ram Meghwal, having been elected as a member of the lower house of the Youth Parliament of Bikaner constituency of Rajasthan, will now take the oath or affirmation. So, would you like to take oath or affirmation?
Oath.
In which language would you like to take the oath? I am Arjun Ram Meghwal.
I am Arjun Ram Meghwal.
Have been elected as a member of the lower house.
Have been elected as a member of the lower house
Of the National Youth Parliament.
of the National Youth Parliament.
Do swear in the name of God.
Do swear in the name of God
That I will bear faith.
that I will bear true faith
And allegiance to the Constitution of India.
and allegiance to the Constitution of India.
As by law established.
As by law established,
I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India.
I'll uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India.
And I will faithfully discharge the duty.
I will faithfully discharge the duty
Which I am about to enter.
which I am about to enter. It is with profound sorrow and regret that I inform this House about the sad demise of Dr. Ricky Andrew J. Shekhar, Honorable Member of Parliament from the Shillong constituency of Meghalaya. Dr. Shekhar was a member of the Voice of the People Party and was elected to the 18th Lok Sabha in 2024 general elections, representing the people of Shillong with dedication and sincerity. An academic by profession, he served as an assistant professor at Northeastern Hill University before entering public life and worked to represent the aspirations of the people of Meghalaya. His entry into Parliament marked the rise of a new voice from the Northeast, and he worked with sincerity to represent the aspirations and concerns of the people of Meghalaya. Dr. Shekhar passed away on 19th Feb 2026 following a sudden cardiac arrest at the age of 54. His untimely demise has a great loss to the people of Meghalaya and to this House. Honorable Prime Minister, to convey his condolences, please.
Honorable Speaker, respected members of Parliament, today we gather with heavy hearts to mourn the loss of Ricky Andrew, a distinguished leader and servant of the nation. Let us honor his memory by carrying forward his ideals and commitment to the nation. May his soul rest in peace and may his family find strength in his hour of grief. Thank you.
Honorable Leader of Opposition, to convey her condolences, please.
We deeply mourn the loss of Dr. Manmohan Singh. Honorable members of the House, I request the House to rise while we observe a moment of silence in his memory. May his soul rest in peace.
We shall now proceed with the introductory speeches from the Honorable Ministers. I invite the Honorable Prime Minister to address the House.
Honorable Speaker, respected members of the Parliament, it is privilege to address this House which stands as guardian of our democracy and voice of our people. मित्रों, ये सांसद कानून बनाने की जगह नहीं है, ये भारत के सपनों को साकार करने का मंच है. We are entrusted with the hopes of millions for the progress of our nation. मैं मानता हूँ कि हमारी जिम्मेदारी, चर्चा और फैसले भारत की नागरिक के हर जिंदगी को प्रभावित करते हैं। ऑपोजिशन कहता है अफोर्डेबिलिटी और एक्सेस मुश्किल है, हम कहते हैं मुश्किल को मौका बनाने का नाम है बीजेपी। टुगेदर लेट अस मूव फॉरवर्ड with unity, responsibility and commitment, spirit of सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास। धन्यवाद, जय हिंद।
Next, I invite the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs.
Honorable Speaker, I rise in this House with clarity and conviction. India's unity, security and sovereignty are not subjects for compromise. For decades, this country saw indecision on issues that demanded courage. But in 2019, under the decisive leadership of Narendra Modi, our government took a historic step, the abrogation of Article 370. Let me say it clearly in this House, एक देश, दो संविधान, दो प्रधान के साथ नहीं चल सकता. Article 370 had become a wall between Jammu Kashmir and the rest of India. We removed that wall. Today, development, democracy and investment are reaching the people of the region. And I want to say this to the opposition benches. जब देश को मजबूत फैसलों की जरूरत थी, तब आप लोगों ने सिर्फ राजनीति की, हमने राजनीति नहीं राष्ट्रनीति की है. और नेशनल सिक्योरिटी, our policy is crystal clear. Zero tolerance towards terrorism. Let those who question our resolve hear this clearly. भारत झुकेगा नहीं, भारत रुकेगा नहीं और भारत आतंकवाद के सामने कभी झुकेगा नहीं. But whenever this government takes a bold decision, the opposition starts spreading fear. To them I want to say, आप लोगों को देश की सुरक्षा से ज्यादा अपनी वोट बैंक की चिंता है, लेकिन बीजेपी के लिए सबसे बड़ा वोट बैंक 140 करोड़ भारतीय हैं. जय हिंद.
Honorable Minister of Education, please.
Namaskar to the Honorable Speaker and respected members of this House. With great pride, I address this gathering. Today, I stand here not just as Finance Minister of leading party. I stand here as a representative of a nation that is determined to move forward with confidence. This budget is not just a mere statement. It is a roadway for India's growth and stability. I understand that the opposition may focus on finding challenges, but that is their role in the democracy. While we understand some may focus on finding challenges, this problem, I stress, our party is focused on finding solutions. For a long time, we have accepted a thinking of जैसे चलता है वैसे चलने दो. But today's India have moved beyond that thinking. आज का भारत सिर्फ चलता नहीं है, ये आगे बढ़ा है. धन्यवाद. जय हिंद.
Honorable Minister of External Affairs.
Honorable Madam Speaker and esteemed members of the House, I rise to address this House on matter concerning India's external relations in today's rapidly evolving global landscape. India's foreign policy continues to be guided by the principles of strategic autonomy, mutual respect and peaceful cooperation. भारत की विदेश नीति का एक ही सिद्धांत है, राष्ट्रीय हित सबसे पहले. India's foreign policy is not about taking sides. It is about standing firmly for India's national interest. भारत किसी के दबाव में चलने वाला देश नहीं है. हम अपने राष्ट्रीय हित के अनुसार निर्णय लेते हैं. धन्यवाद.
Honorable Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, I rise to highlight the importance of empowering the youth of our nation. India is one of the youngest countries in the world, and our government believes that the energy of our youth must be channeled to nation's building. Through initiatives like Khelo India, India ensures that young athletes receive proper training and scholarship and opportunities to represent India at global platforms such as Olympic Games. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Minister of Women and Child Development.
Honorable Speaker, distinguished members and fellow citizens of tomorrow. Today I was asked by a little girl while entering the parliament that, "Ma'am, are we heard inside?" I looked at her and answered, "Yes, that is exactly why we are going in." That question stayed with me because it is the same question millions of children and women across this country ask every single day. Are we heard inside? And my answer from this very floor is yes, we will and we must. Our ministry exists on one belief: no child should grow up afraid, no woman should live diminished. Every girl deserves education, every mother deserves dignity, every child deserves safety and joy. As young leaders, we have the power to make that change. I commit to fighting for equal opportunities, child protection and women empowerment, not someday, but now. Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Road Transport and Highways.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to briefly introduce the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. This ministry is responsible for the planning and development of road transport and national highways across India through institutions such as National Highway Authority of India. The primary objective of this ministry is to accelerate economic growth, provide progress in the entire economy, and ultimately to improve the efficiency in the transportation. हमारी देश की सड़कें हमारी पहचान है, हमारी देश की सड़कें हमारी बुनियाद है। धन्यवाद।
Honorable Minister of Defence.
Honorable Speaker, I rise today to represent the voice that stands at the front line of India's security, who carries the responsibility of safeguarding the sovereignty, security and strength of our great nation. As is often said, भारत की सुरक्षा से बड़ा कोई दायित्व नहीं. With this commitment, I stand here representing the Honorable Defence Minister of India.
I now invite the Leader of the Opposition from the Indian National Congress to address the House.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Greetings to Honorable Speaker and respected members of the Parliament. Today, I take privilege to rise not only as the Leader of the Opposition, but also as the voice of the youth, and to perform the duty that is essential in every democracy, that is to ask questions that the government may not prefer to hear. The treasury benches often believe that a strong majority means the debate is already won. But let me say, the democracy does not run on numbers alone. It runs on transparency, accountability, and the courage to answer difficult questions. The government often says everything is being announced, but sometimes it feels like announcements are growing faster than the outcomes. Because in today's politics, it sometimes appears it is easier to make big announcements than to deliver big outcomes. So I ask the government, if everything is truly going so well, why are the questions from the people becoming louder every single day? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next, I invite the Leader of the Opposition from the Aam Aadmi Party.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, and esteemed members of the House, I stand here representing the Aam Aadmi Party, a movement built on one simple belief: politics must serve the common people of this country. Our party stands for clean governance, transparency, quality education, accessible healthcare, and accountability in public life. We believe that true strength of democracy lies not in the power of those who rule, but in the voice and dignity of the common citizens. With that commitment, I rise in this House today to represent the people and question the government. Thank you.
We now begin the question hour. Honorable Opposition Leader of the Congress, you may please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Greetings once again to the members of the House. Today, we are discussing the present trade agreement between India and United States. The government calls it a historic partnership, but the opposition has a single question. Is this partnership truly equal, or is it a deal where India gives more and receives less? Because on the front end, Madam Speaker, everything looks so promising, but when you look at the back end, the reports suggest that the United States imposed tariffs of around 18% on several Indian exports such as textiles, chemicals, leather and machinery, while India agreed to reduce tariffs significantly on several US industrial and agricultural products. We have all the proofs to submit and we need answers for this. This government constantly speaks of Atmanirbhar Bharat, but when we open our markets widely to foreign imports, we must ask, is this Atmanirbhar Bharat or Import Nirbhar Bharat? Farmers are already facing rising costs, and now India has agreed to ease barriers for several US agricultural products such as soybean, lal jawar, cotton and also tree nuts. This is not a fair competition. This is an economic wrestling between a tractor and a tank. So the question is very simple. Are the Indian farmers safe? Are Indian industries stronger? Are Indian workers getting more opportunities? If the answer is unclear, the government must reconsider its approach. So, trade agreements should not make headlines abroad while creating anxiety at home. They should make India stronger, fairer and truly self-reliant. This government says everything is under control. The country is simply asking, under whose control?
Honorable Speaker, respected members of Parliament, sometimes I hear the opposition say that India has surrendered in trade agreements. मित्रों, अगर भारत सरेंडर करता तो आज दुनिया 4th largest economy नहीं होता और exports $824 million तक नहीं पहुंचते. Regarding export advantages, India has gained expanded access for pharmaceuticals worth $30 billion, IT services contributing over $150 billion workers, and textile employing 40 to 50 million workers. These sectors will benefit directly from American market openings. जो बाजार पहले बंद थे, अब भारत के लिए खुल रहे हैं. On the concern that Indian farmers may struggle against subsidized American products, safeguards are in place. India continues to provide MSP support and tariff protection, ensure that 150 million farmers are not left unprotected. And किसान की मेहनत पर कोई समझौता नहीं होगा. उनका हित सरकार की पहली जिम्मेदारी है. For MSMEs, which contribute nearly 30% of India's GDP and 48% of exports, the government has ensured phased import schedules, credit support, and digital infrastructure. 7.4 plus crore MSCs employing over 32 crore people. Finally, on Atmanirbhar Bharat, let me emphasize self-reliance that does not mean isolation. Imports of critical technology strengthen domestic innovation. We import to innovate and we innovate to export. आत्मनिर्भरता का मतलब है ग्लोबल भारत बाजार में भारत की शक्ति. धन्यवाद.
Honorable Suresh Reddy, you may please ask your question to the Honorable Home Minister.
Greetings to the House, Honorable Speaker and esteemed members of the Youth Parliament. PM Cares Fund was created during COVID crisis and crores of Indians donated their hard-earned money, believing it was purely for humanitarian aid. The Honorable Home Minister Amit Shah himself is a trustee of this fund, which makes him directly accountable to the people of the country. इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड से पैसा लेना काफी नहीं था, जब चैरिटी के नाम पे भी पैसा लिया जा रहा है। या फिर सरकार को हमेशा एक लूप होल ढूंढने की आदत पड़ चुकी है जिससे राजनीति चल सके। Why are the trustee of this fund and the member of the cabinet running away from answering basic questions about transparency? When crores of Indians has contributed their money in good faith, does the public not have the full right to know where every money has gone? Why has the government of India reluctant to place the detail of the country's fund and not answering the questions directly? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I thank the honorable member for the question. But the opposition speaking about transparency today is quite surprising. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when the entire world was struggling, our government focused on saving lives. This fund was created during one of the biggest global crises, when the country needed immediate resources to protect lives. Under the leadership of Narendra Modi, this fund was established to provide rapid assistance for healthcare infrastructure, emergency relief and vaccine support. Through PM CARES, the government funded oxygen generation plants across districts, ventilators for hospital and support for vaccine development so that India could protect its citizens during a national emergency. But Honorable Speaker, I find it surprising that leaders who remain silent for years on corruption are suddenly worried about transparency. And since the question is coming from the benches that supported governments known for massive scams, let me remind them, 2G scam, coal scam, Commonwealth, देश ने सब देखा है. And even in Telangana, projects like Kaleshwaram faced serious allegations on financial mismanagement. So before questioning the government that worked day and night during a national crisis, the opposition should first look at its own record. देश ने घोटालों की सरकार भी देखी है और देश सेवा की सरकार भी देख रही है. धन्यवाद.
Honorable Leader of Aam Aadmi Party, you may please ask your question to the Honorable Finance Minister.
Honorable Speaker, Madam and esteemed members of the House, through you I would like to ask Honorable Minister of Finance regarding the taxation system in our country. From the moment a child is born until the moment a citizen dies, the government seems present at almost every step of life, not always to help but to pay tax. Education is taxed, fuel is taxed, homes are taxed, even medicines are taxed. टैक्स देने में तो सरकार कभी देर नहीं करती, लेकिन संविधान देने में अक्सर देर जाती है. Honorable Speaker, Madam, today India's gross tax revenue is estimated at more than rupees 44 lakhs crore. Direct tax alone contributes nearly rupees 27 lakh crore, while GST collections have crossed rupees 22 lakhs crore in a single year. Taxes today contribute nearly 11 to 12% of our national GDP. जनता टैक्स देती है विकास के लिए, जनता टैक्स देती है विकास के लिए, सिर्फ ट्रेजरी भराकर रखने के लिए नहीं. Honorable Speaker, Madam, citizens are fulfilling their duties by paying taxes honestly. The real question is, I request Honorable Finance Minister to clarify this question. Is the government fulfilling its duty in using that money wisely, and are the taxpayers of this country receiving the same value in return for the tax they pay? Therefore, Honorable Speaker, Madam, I would like to conclude with this. A nation does not become great by collecting more taxes. A nation becomes truly great when taxes create real opportunities and dignity for its people.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to state that the opposition is trying to portray taxation as a burden on citizens. But let me clear, taxation in democracy is not a burden on citizens. It is the very foundation of nation building. Before saying such thing, I ask the honorable member, हैव यू नोटिस जो रास्ते से आज आप आए हैं वो रास्ता कैसे बना है? वो आपके, हमारे और जनता के दिए हुए टैक्स से ही बना है. द गवर्नमेंट अंडरस्टैंड्स the value of every paisa that comes from tax revenue, and let me make it very clear, जनता का दिया हुआ टैक्स बर्बाद नहीं हो रहा है. They are utilized for the welfare of us, from making schools to the infrastructure and utilizing them for the beneficiary schemes, and to even supporting the families of those soldiers and the frontline warriors who lost their lives to protect us. And since the opposition mentioned from birth to death about the tax, let me clarify one important fact. Funeral services पे कोई टैक्स नहीं है, कोई GST नहीं है. Before asking any question, मैं opposition member से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि जितना आप विवाद करते हैं कभी ढंग से जांच भी कर ले. धन्यवाद.
Honorable Gaurav, you may please ask your question to the Honorable Minister of Defence. Greetings to Honorable Madam Speaker. The world today is witnessing the conflict between Russia and Ukraine war and Israel and Hamas war, provoking the modern warfare that erupt anytime and anywhere. India has been the fourth largest military support, but still dependent on imports, and yet there are several parliamentary commitments that have repeatedly pointed out the stockpiles of long duration war scenarios. Honorable Minister, Sir, जब दुनिया में हर जगह जंग की तैयारी हो रही है, तो क्या भारत सिर्फ प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस रेडीनेस पर चल रहा है या बैटलफील्ड के लिए रेडी है? Are we genuinely prepared for the two-war situation, or we are just relying on a strong speeches or a hashtags like Atmanirbhar Bharat? क्योंकि देश की सुरक्षा आत्मनिर्भर भारत से नहीं, प्रिपेयरनेस से होती है. सरहद पर खड़े जवानों को ना स्लोगन्स की जरूरत है, ना गर्म हवा भाषणों की. सिर्फ चाहिए तो खड़ा भारत, और एक चीज चाहिए, तैयार भारत. So, Honorable Minister, the nations want the clarity. Is India prepared for the battlefield or only prepared for headlines of the news?
Honorable Speaker, I appreciate the concern raised by the Honorable Deputy Minister. Let me assure this House with absolute clarity, India does not prepare for war in the moment of crisis. India prepares for it every single day. Today, our armed forces are among the most professional and battle-ready forces in the world. Through integrated theatre commands, modernization of defense technology, and joint military exercises with global partners, India is constantly strengthening its operational readiness. We have demonstrated this capability through swift and precise operations such as the surgical strikes and the Balakot air strike, which reflected both strategic planning and operational efficiency. So, to the Honorable Deputy Minister's question, yes, India is fully prepared to defend its sovereignty, its people, and every inch of its territory. As we firmly believe, भारत शांति में विश्वास रखता है, लेकिन अपनी सुरक्षा के लिए पूरी तरह सक्षम और तैयार है. Thank you.
Honorable K.V. Venugopal, you may please ask your question to the Honorable Minister of Education.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, it is often told that education is the key to success, but today it seems like the key opens the door to unemployment rather than opportunities. India produces over 1 crore graduates every year, yet according to the Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, youth unemployment remains around 15 to 20%, which is significantly higher than the national average. सरकार कहती है कि युवा देश का भविष्य है, लेकिन अब ऐसा लगता है कि भविष्य को ही वेटिंग लाइन में लगा दिया गया है. So my question to the Honorable Minister is, if the education system is truly being aligned with the industrial needs, why do such large number of educated youth remain unemployed or underemployed? And what concrete steps is the government taking to ensure that education leads to real job opportunities rather than just degrees? Because Honorable Speaker, जब युवाओं के सपने बेरोजगारी की फाइल में दबने लगते हैं, तब समस्या सिर्फ नौकरी की नहीं रहती, वो सरकार की जिम्मेदारी और नीयत दोनों पर सवाल होती है।
Honorable Madam Speaker, in response of the opposition question, I would like to answer regarding the unemployment. I think opposition love quoting about the unemployment figures, but they have forget about that India is producing a large number of opportunities that done faster that they can count the oats. So coming to the main point, while CMI data reflects the youth unemployment was 15 to 20%. As per our government, where we have enacted the comprehensive measures through all the sectors, Skill India Machine and Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, where we have trained over 1.25 crore youth in industry-ready skills, and the PLI schemes attracted 1.76 lakhs crore investment, and where it has been generated 12 lakh jobs in manufacturing sector like electronics, pharma and automotive. Startup India has supported more than 1 lakh startups, creating opportunities in fintechs, agritech and edutech. Through Digital India, lakhs of IT jobs have been created, while PM Gati Shakti is expanding logistics and infrastructure employment. As the grassroots MSME initiates the certain 11 crore livelihoods and PM Mudra Yojana, where it has been disbursed 27 lakh crore loans, empowering the small entrepreneurs to become job creators. This is not about just unemployment figures. It is about building a resilient workforce and ensuring India's youth lead the 21st century economy. I would like to say, Honorable Speaker, उनके पास excuses का stock है, पर हमारे पास employment का rock है. Opposition के लिए youth एक burden है, पर हमारे लिए youth एक भारत का brand है. रोजगार के नाम पर अपोजिशन सिर्फ शोर मचाता है, पर हम नौकरियां बनाने वाले हैं ही बीजेपी. So I would like to say that the government just do not hand out the degrees. It's about our careers, and that's why our youth are building the futures, while the opposition is still stuck in building the arguments.
Honorable Shashi Tharoor, you may please ask your question to the Honorable Law Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and respected members of this Parliament. I rise today to invoke a principle fundamental to our Republic: the citizen's right to know under Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause 1 of the Constitution. Democracy thrives not merely on elections but on transparency and informed consent. Yet, ironically, between 2018 and 2024, over 16,000 crore flowed through the electoral bond scheme, a mechanism that shredded political funding in deliberate opacity, concealing the identity of the donors. One might ask, was this transparency or a rather sophisticated architecture of secrecy? When transparency is threatened, rather than being treated as a duty, the question inevitably arises: is the government protecting the democracy or its donors? लोकतंत्र में पैसा छुपाना नहीं, हिसाब देना पड़ता है. So I ask the Honorable Minister, how did the government justify defending such institutional opacity until the Supreme Court had to intervene? And on what constitutional basis can a democracy demand trust from its citizens while denying them the right to know? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you for the Honorable Member for the question. Their sudden and heartfelt concern for judiciary, it's truly touching to see such a deep affection for justice. For those who were in power, treated judicial reforms as coming soon movie trailer, but never actually released. Yes, there are pending cases in our courts. Let us remember that these cases are not new. And these are the heritage projects which are left behind by the previous government. And the opposition now speaks about the delays, justice, as a backlog mysterious appeared overnight, like unexpected guest at a wedding. Honorable Speaker, the government is not sitting idle. We are strengthening our judicial infrastructure, promoting digital courts, e-filing systems, and fast-track mechanisms to reduce dependency and ensure the quicker access. Instead of counting pending cases during debates, I invite opposition to join us in supporting meaningful reforms that will make justice delivery system faster, more transparent and more accessible every citizen. After all, Honorable Speaker, justice is not a political slogan to be shouted. It's a responsibility that requires cooperation from both the sides of the House. Thank you.
Honorable Imran Pratap, you may please ask your question to the Honorable Minister of External Affairs.
Namaste, Honorable Speaker. Now, in the presence of you and of all the esteemed members of the House, I stand here to ask a question to the Minister of External Affairs. In the recent event of a war breaking out between Iran and United States, an Iranian naval vessel, IRS Dina, which was carrying over 130 Iranian sailors, which was in the region in connection to the International Fleet Review, was bombed by the United States submarine on March 4, killing over 87 Iranian sailors and leaving the rest gravely injured. And India, as the host for the International Fleet Review, stayed silent and did not release any statements conveying their condolences to the berated family and for the injured victims. For the host to not release any statements is very callous. ईरानी नाविकों की जान गंवाने पर भारत की सरकार ने अभी तक क्यों अपना शोक व्यक्त करते हुए बयान जारी नहीं किया, ये मेरा सवाल है जयशंकर जी से।
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I appreciate the concern raised by the opposition. In fact, I wish they showed the same concern when they were power. And India had no maritime policy whatsoever. Honorable Speaker, the opposition calls us silent. Let me give this House the exact timeline. February 28, 2026, Iran requested docking permission. March 1st, 2026, India said yes. Within 24 hours, March 4th, Iris Lavin docked at Kochi. 183 sailors sheltered at Indian naval facilities. March 9, I personally addressed both the houses of parliament. हम वो देश है जो पहले काम करते हैं बाद में बात, और यही हमारा चुप्पी का राज है. And Iran's own foreign minister publicly thanked India. जब ईरान ने खुद शुक्रिया अदा किया तो ऑपोजिशन का ये सवाल सिर्फ पॉलिटिकल ड्रामा के लिए है क्या? The opposition questions India's sovereignty because powerful nations. This is the same India that took its own decision at the UN, not because anyone told us to, but because we decided what is right for India. Both sides of this conflict came to India for help because they know when the world is on fire, India is the only one with water. And yet, the opposition stands here questioning our relevance. Honorable Speaker, irony भी इतनी blind नहीं होनी चाहिए. जब दोनों दुश्मन आपके पास मदद मांगने आए तो आप कमजोरी नहीं, अब जरूरी है. That is New India, sovereign, strategic, unstoppable. जय हिंद.
Honorable Alka Lamba, you may please ask your question to the Honorable Minister of Women and Child Development.
Honorable Speaker, through you, I would like to ask the Honorable Minister for Women and Child Development. Over the years, the government has announced several welfare schemes and initiatives aimed at improving the lives of women, ranging from financial assistance and skill development programs to support systems for health and safety. However, it is often been observed that many women, particularly in rural and economically weaker sections of society, face significant challenges in accessing these benefits. Lack of awareness, bureaucratic hurdles, and gaps in implementation frequently prevent these schemes from reaching the very women they are intended to support. As the saying goes, a promise made is a debt unpaid. In this context, I would like to ask the Honorable Minister what specific mechanism, monitors and accountability measures has the government established to ensure these welfare schemes more beyond policy documents and effectively reach every deserving woman at the grassroots levels of India.
Honorable Speaker, the member provided a quote. A promise made is a debt unpaid. Honorable member, we are not here with promises today. We are here with passbooks. But let me first address something to the House. The member says schemes are not reaching rural women, lack of awareness, bureaucratic hurdles and implementation gaps. Honorable member, which year's data are you referring to? This is India in 2025. This is not the India of 2004. And this is not a slogan, it is a system. Honorable Speaker, let the numbers speak for themselves. Direct benefit transfer 2014, 38 lakh crore transferred directly into the beneficiary's account. No collector, no middleman, no complaint. Please come back on Friday. Because bureaucracy cannot intercept what arrives before it wakes up. PM Mantri Vandana Yojana, 3 crore mothers receive direct cash support for maternal nutrition. Not a ration, not a coupon, and cash in hand in account. Ujjwal Yojana, 10 crore women LPG connections to BPL women. A woman cooking on firewood in 2005 is not a welfare gap. It is the failure of previous government that we considered, cylinder by cylinder. Now, Honorable Member, I want to address your concern about monitoring because announcing a scheme and delivering it is two different disciplines. Poshan Tracker, 7 lakh Anganwadi centers monitored in real time. Every child weighted, every pregnant tracked. District collectors have live dashboards, not quarterly, not annual reviews, live daily accountability. 8.7 crore women in self-help groups under Day Nirayan. There are not women waiting for government help. These are the women, the particular women that became help. The member speaks of grassroots as it is still 2010, when a rupee left in Delhi has become 50 paisa before it reached the state border. That system is gone. What it replaced? Jan, Dhan, Aadhaar, Mobile. The jam trinity. The three things that make together leakage structurally impossible.
Honorable Raja Ravichandra, you may please ask your question to the Honorable Minister of Road Transport and Highways.
Honorable Speaker, today I want to talk about the crumbling excellence of our national highways. The Delhi-Mumbai Expressway was built as India's pride. But Honorable Speaker, the first rain came and the road didn't just crack, it melted. Adhyaksha, ఇది highway లేక railway? బడ్జెట్ ఏమో 1000 కోట్లు అంటారు, కానీ రోడ్లు చూస్తే మాత్రం 1000 గుంటలు కనిపిస్తాయి. Was the ministry's quality control department on a vacation or a commission mission? Now look at the math. You collect 50,000 crores in tolls. My question is simple. Where is the money? Every 1 kilometer we have 50 potholes. ఇస్రో వాళ్ళు మూడు మీద గుంటలు చూడడానికి ఎన్నో కోట్లు ఖర్చు పెడతారు. అదేదో మన టోల్ రోడ్లు చూస్తే అన్ని గుంటలు రోడ్ల మీద కనిపిస్తాయి కదా. If 50,000 crores can't fix the pothole, then what exactly are we maintaining? The roads or the bank accounts of middle class? Thank you.
I thank the respected member for raising this concern. First, let me clarify that the contracts for national highway projects, including the Delhi-Mumbai Expressway, are not granted arbitrarily or as favors. They are awarded through transparent e-tendering processes conducted by the National Highway Authority of India, undergoes supervision of the military of road transport and highways. Every bidder undergoes strict technical and financial evaluation before a contract is finalized. Regarding the concerns about cracks after rainfall, I would like to assure the House that quality monitoring is continuous and multi-layered. Independent engineers, third-party auditors, and advanced technologies such as satellite monitoring are ensuring construction standards. On this question of toll collection, the honourable member mentioned a figure of 50,000 crore. Toll revenue is not profit for the government. It is reinvested into building, expanding and maintaining India's highway network, as well as repaying loans for the large infrastructure projects under initiatives such as Bharat Mala Pariyojana. In fact, this ministry, India has witnessed the highest highway expansion in its history, with national highway construction increasing from 12 km per day in 2014 to more than 30 km per day in recent years. This reflects the government's commitment to creating world-class infrastructure. Therefore, instead of questioning the integrity of the system, we must recognize that India's highway infrastructure is undergoing a massive transformation, and the ministry remains fully committed to transparency, accountability, and quality in every project. Thank you.
Honorable Pariniti Sushil, you may please ask your question to the Honorable Home Minister.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker and the esteemed member of National Youth Parliament. Cybercrime is increasing rapidly in the digital era. According to NCRB data, more than 56,000 cybercrime cases have been reported in recent years, including online fraud and digital payment scams. सर, जब देश डिजिटल हो रहा है तो सिटीजन्स की डिजिटल सेफ्टी भी उतनी ही इम्पोर्टेंट है। अगर लोगों का पैसा और उनकी जानकारी सुरक्षित नहीं है तो फिर जिम्मेदारी किसकी है? Therefore, my question to Honorable Home Minister is, if cybercrime cases are increasing every year, why has government not been able to control this digital fraud effectively? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I thank the honorable member for raising the issue of cybercrime. But the member of parliament, our government has established the Cybercrime Coordination Center I4C and the National Cybercrime Reporting Portal and 1930 Cyber Helpline that ensures that victims of financial fraud can quickly report incidents and prevent further losses. Police forces across the country are being trained in cyber forensics and digital investigation so that criminals hiding behind screens cannot escape the law. But what surprising me is the attitude of the opposition कि जब देश डिजिटल रेवोल्यूशन की तरफ बढ़ रहा है तब विपक्ष का काम सिर्फ डर फैलाना और सरकार पर आरोप लगाना रह गया है। 4 decades when they were in power, they were policy paralysis, corruption and weak governance. Today when India is becoming a digital powerhouse, they suddenly claim to be concerned about cyber security. So let me remind them, जब आप सरकार में थे तो घोटालों की हेडलाइंस आती थी और आज जब हम सरकार में हैं तो डिजिटल प्रोग्रेस की हेडलाइंस आती है और टेक्नोलॉजी के पीछे छुपने वाले अपराधी याद रखें, भारत की कानून व्यवस्था उन्हें ढूंढकर कानून के कटघरे तक जरूर लेकर आएगी। धन्यवाद।
Honorable Damodar Rao, you may please ask your question to the Honorable Prime Minister.
Honorable Speaker, Parliament and esteemed members, I rise today as a representative of Telangana and as a member of opposition to raise some important concerns before this House. Honorable Speaker, I rise today to question the ruling government regarding the promises made to the farmers of our state. Honorable Speaker, governance cannot be built on publicity and propaganda. Governance must be built on truth, transparency and accountability. Farmers are not statistics in a report. They are the backbone of our economy and lifeline of our nation. Making promises to farmers and failing to fulfill them and is not just a policy failure, it's a betrayal of trust. I'll repeat again, it's a betrayal of trust. అధ్యక్ష మన కేటీఆర్ సార్ కూడా సవాల్ చేసిండు ఈ రుణమాఫీ గురించి. అధ్యక్ష ఈ రకమైన బుకాయింపు, ఈ రకమైన మోసం మంచిది కాదు అధ్యక్ష. Honorable Speaker, over 50% of farmers in India are in debt, with an average loan of 70,000 to 75,000 per household. In this situation, farmer loan waivers are not a luxury but a necessity. So I ask the government, how many farmers have actually received the full loan waiver? The farmers of this country deserve truth, not promises. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
अगर सरकार सिर्फ वादे करती और काम नहीं करती तो आज 3 करोड़ से ज्यादा किसानों के खाते में राहत की रोशनी नहीं पहुंचती. As per official records, lakhs of farmers across states have benefited from loan waivers and restructuring schemes. In fact, more than rupees 3.2 lakh crore worth of agricultural loans has been addressed through waivers, interest, subventions and direct support. किसान के खाते में पैसा गया है और उनके बोझ को कम करना हमारी जिम्मेदारी है. We must remember loan waivers are not only the solution. Alongside waivers, we have ensured PM Kisan direct transfer to 11 crore farmers, crop insurance coverage and MSP procurement worth rupees 2.1 lakh crore annually. किसान की पीठ पर बोझ कम करना भारत की पीठ को मजबूत करना है. धन्यवाद.
Honorable Priyanka Gandhi, please present your question for the Road and Transport Minister.
Honorable Speaker, through you, I would like to ask the Road and Transport Ministry, where do we stand on Vision Zero? Countries like Sweden, America and Norway are aiming for zero road death, and in India, every 3 minutes a person dies in a road accident. ये है देश के सड़कों की पहचान. According to 2023 BBC report, India has one of the deadliest road network in the world. और ये आंकड़े तो 2023 के हैं, क्योंकि हमारी सरकार के पास आंकड़ा निकलवाने की जरूरत है और ना वक्त है. Honorable Speaker, the irony is that 36% of these accidents occur on highways, while the highways make up only 2% of our total road network. और हमारे मंत्री जी टिप्पणी करते हैं कि यह हाईवे स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी से बनी हुई है. तो बताइए कि यह है आपकी स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी? Tell me, sir, who is responsible for this loss and negligence? And can ever India dream of Vision Zero? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I thank the Honorable Member for raising an important issue regarding road safety and aspiration of Vision Zero. First, let me acknowledge the concern. The government does not deny that India faces a serious road safety challenge. According to official record, around 1.72 lakh people have lost their lives in road accidents in 2023. And every lost life is a tragedy for the nation. But it is important to understand the context. India is one of the largest road networks in the world and over 300 million registered vehicles, with traffic increasing rapidly every year. The Honorable Member compared India with countries like Sweden and Norway and cities like New York, which pioneered the Vision Zero approach. I want to inform the House that India has also adopted the same philosophy of zero tolerance for road deaths. The ministry is actively working towards this through engineering improvements, stricter enforcement and safer vehicle standards. The Honorable Member mentioned 36% of accidents occur on highways, which represent...
Please conclude your remarks.
Finally, I want to emphasize that the goal of Vision Zero is not achieved overnight. Even in countries like Sweden, It requires sustained efforts over decades. Thank you.
Honorable Priyanka Jarkoli, please present your question for the Finance Minister. Honorable Speaker and the esteemed member of the Youth Parliament, through you I rise to raise a serious question before the Honorable Finance Minister regarding the growing concern of the economic inequality of our country. According to the Oxfam International, the richest 1% of Indians own more than 40% of the country's wealth, while the bottom 50% survives on the rest 3% wealth. Yet we constantly hear claims of India being one of the fastest growing economies of the world. If the economy is truly blooming, why are millions still struggling for basic education, healthcare and employment? ऐसा विकास किस नाम का जो देश को पीछे छोड़ दे? So I ask the Honorable Finance Minister, is this government genuinely committed to reducing inequality, or economic growth is becoming a success story only for the privileged few?
In your presence, respected Speaker, I would like to thank the respected member for bringing up this report. But let us be very clear, this government works on verified report, not on sensations made for international headlines, while the organizations like Oxfam relies on assumption. The reality of ground is completely different. In this decade, there is 7-fold increase in the ownership of motor vehicle and 8-fold increase in the ownership of refrigerators in the rural areas. ये क्या है? ये गरीबी नहीं, ये देश की बदलती हुई तस्वीर है. Also, the member also asked about equitable distribution. So, what can be more equitable than direct benefit transfer, DBT? Gone are those days when 85 paisa was stolen. Now 100% benefit is transferred into the accounts of beneficiary. ना बीच में आप आए और ना ही हम. To the critics I say, आंकड़े आपके हो सकते हैं पर परिणाम हमारे होंगे. धन्यवाद.
And finally, Honorable Renuka Chaudhary, please present your question for the Defence Minister.
Honorable Speaker, India today faces a complex and evolving security environment with multiple strategic challenges along its borders and in the wider geopolitical landscape. While the government has repeatedly stated its commitment to strengthening the nation's defence preparedness, several defence analysts have raised concerns about whether India possesses a clear, defined and comprehensive long-term defence strategy that can effectively address future security challenges and ensure sustained preparedness of the armed forces. Through you, I would like to ask the Honourable Defence Minister whether the government has formulated a clear and comprehensive long-term national defence strategy to address future security challenges, and if such a strategy exists, why its objectives, policy measures and implementation framework have not been more clearly articulated before Parliament.
Honourable Speaker, I thank the Honourable Member for raising a very important question regarding India's long-term defence preparedness. Let me clearly state, India does have a well-defined long-term defence strategy, but in matters of national security, every operational detail cannot be placed in the public domain. राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा के कुछ पहलू ऐसे भी होते हैं जिनको खुले रूप से व्यक्त करना देश के हित में नहीं होता. However, I would like to assure this House that the government has taken concrete structural steps to strengthen India's future defence capability. The establishment of Chief of Defence Staff and the Department of Military Affairs has ensured joint planning and integrated long-term military strategy across the Army, Navy and the Air Force. Through the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative in defence, India is systematically reducing dependence on foreign imports. Theatre command reforms are being implemented to ensure faster coordination and modern joint warfare capability. Simultaneously, India is investing heavily in cyber warfare, space security, artificial intelligence and modern surveillance systems which are critical for the wars of the future. Honourable Speaker, defence strategy is not merely about documents placed before Parliament. It is about capability, preparedness and deterrence on the ground. Thank you.
The House is now adjourned.